Hey folks, Kanal here, Bulls on Wall Street. Hope everybody had a great day trading. A lot of fun stuff going on in the market. So we're kind of on day four of a market bounce. We're starting to get a little bit extended here, but overall there was some good strength in the markets, a decent amount of breakouts to play, and that's all you can really ask for. We're not by any means probably out of you know out of the heat, as we're still in a news-driven environment. That could change it, at any moment. But for now, the price action and the structure of the market's changed a little bit, and so we're seeing some decent amount of plays, and a lot of the choppiness intraday has subsided. So that's a good thing. Like I said, news is always just kind of around the corner, but so far so good. Now we have come a long way, so to expect a couple days of rest wouldn't be out of the ordinary. But it seems like in this particular market of this year, we tend to get more extended than we normally would. Usually after a run like this, you'd see maybe 2-3 days of sideways action or even a pullback, but we don't seem to get them as much anymore. So that's kind of how you got to play it. Is even though we're extended, if there's stocks breaking out, then you just got to go for it, as this market tends to run a little bit longer than normal. Let's take a look at the watch list. I got this vision on watch. It flagged for a few days, so today was kind of like day one of a breakout. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I think there's going to be an epic short trade in this. It might be tough to get shares. I'll have to look around for them. But there will be one in there. When it comes, it's hard to tell, right? Is that going to be a 10 or is it going to be 11? Tough to say. This is one thing, is if you do try to short this and you're just not very adept or have a real toolbox of setups for aligning short trades, this one will squeeze you, and you could lose thousands of dollars in a hot second. I mean, you could have 500 shares, right, and be down $1,000 in a handful of minutes on a stock like this. So you got to be a little bit careful, but definitely it's going to be in play in some manner. IDRA, this was a really nice ripper. It doubled up, on this move earlier in October, and so we've kind of had like an easy-go-lucky pullback to support. So I would anticipate a bounce coming somewhere in this area. It's been a fairly low volume, so we could get a dead cat bounce out of this somewhere. CSUN, this one is flagging. I think it probably needs a few more days to kind of back and fill, but it's getting there. And when it goes, it'll as long as it can get above 6, I think you can really make a run back to highs. FU had a really big move today, coming off its bottom. I do think that this one will be in play tomorrow in some manner. I mean, it really had a strong close on really mega volume today. China stocks have been hot, so could be something in this for a continuation. Xiop, this is a junky old biotech here, but we seem to have been consolidating this move from the beginning of October nicely, and so it's a little bit sloppy, but I think there might be a play in that. I've been watching this Kihu for really a while, but we're starting to coil up here. Maybe another day or two of kind of backing and filling, and then if we can kind of pop over this trend line as it kind of keeps extending downwards, we should get a nice pop and a run to 90 or so. Noah, another Chinese stock that didn't really participate on any of the craziness the last couple of days in these names, but I think that if we can get above 18, we should have a run in this. I've been watching Cena too. It dipped down to the 50-day moving average a couple times. It seems to be holding up. I think this one's ripe for a move too. Phoner, while all these other low float stocks are going, this one, this one's been resting for a few days. Look for another move into this. I definitely see 10 in the future on this one relatively quickly. We saw CLNT coming out of range today. It wasn't really much on much volume. That's going to be the key with this thing. Does it ever come in? And it does tend to be a little bit of a fader, so you have to really kind of watch yourself. Ideally, right, we're going to probably first levels or that kind of 625 area, and then if that happens, we can have a run to 7. But we have a history of big runs in this stock, and so we just biding time for this bad boy. Cree, kind of holding under 74 level. I think we can get over 74. We should attack our 52-week highs, which I believe coincides with really kind of a multi-year high here. But if that happens, if it gets over 75, your next stop is $80. This stock definitely is pretty hot. We saw RVLT going too. MCP coiling up here. I like the location. I was just kind of stuck above the 7 spot. Me personally, this stock's a piece of crap, for the most part. It always pops and fades. That's just kind of what it's known for. So you have to kind of take it with a grain of salt. It's coiled up for a run. If it comes out of the coil, maybe we'll see a run to 8. That's where the real breakout is. And so it has a lot of work really to break out over 8 before it can be cut loose. But the one thing you got to remember with the stocks, it does pop and fade pretty much all the time. So you can't chase it on spikes intraday. You can't chase your entries on it because it comes back really, really quickly. People just love to dump this thing. NYT might need another day or two to kind of fill back. But it's starting to test this level here, kind of a triple tap breakout. And then this one's a little bit more of a lotto play. So this is a China commercial credit. With all these other China names coming, this one's just been sitting here. It obviously needs some type of catalyst or something to make it move. But these are the times when all its cousins are going, brothers and sisters are going. These are the times that they'll pop randomly. And so you can't just buy this stock while it's sitting here because it doesn't have much volume and it won't have anything going. But typically, how I'd see is if I did see a big push come into stock, I'll wait for a flag or a quick pullback on it where I can measure my risk, and then I'll add it and see if we can get a continuation in, and that secondary breakout will often be just as powerful as the first one. So that's it for now, guys. A lot of good stocks out there. My original list was like 80 names, so it's hard to pare them down. But be selective, and the market's been good for the last few days, so hopefully that'll continue. If not, no big deal. You could trade the market both ways. The money's the same. It's just how much stress is involved in it when you're trading. So I'll see you guys on the chat room tomorrow. Take care.